This video might be a little random. You see, I just made an Endo guide going over all of the main Endo farms in Warframe, and only after the video had been posted, I thought of a particular farm that might be pretty good. And I'll be honest, it is even better than I thought. So instead of me just making a guide on what could possibly be one of the best Endo farms in the game, I decided why not talk about Hollvania as a whole to provide more value to you guys and show you how profitable these farms can be. Not only is this place good for Endo, you have access to a really good credit farm and some respectable platinum farms too. Let's dive into the juicy Endo farm first. A quick disclaimer, I have no idea if someone has already discovered this, so if anyone has already made a video, I don't know about that. I have just found this out myself and I feel like it's worth making a video on it. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. So, potency mods. These mods are used when farming coder liches. You obtain potency mods via killing the Techrot faction and not the Skulldra. This means running a survival mission here is the best viable option. And to be honest, the drop rate here is actually pretty decent. Each of the potency mods can be dissolved for 58 Endo each, not including the raw Endo drops, which you do get quite a bit from these enemies and the mission rewards. Techrot enemies also only drop rare mods as well, like all of your magnetic mods and sometimes pistol acuity as well, which they go for around 15 Endo per. It may not seem like much, but the volume of mods that you farm is actually pretty good. And the mission rewards also add onto the Endo drops too, like I just mentioned. You can increase this even further by running bounties that have Techrot survival missions on them as well, but I will admit here, I want to make a very clear disclaimer, there are a few problems with this farming method. For this to be as good as it is, you will need a mod chance booster and preferably a full team to increase the enemy density. You don't need the mod chance booster, but it does make a huge difference and makes it quite viable. Getting mod boosters nowadays is still hard, make no mistake, but it's also never been easier considering that we have so many more options to obtain them. You can get them via sorties, Archon hunts, Barrow, the circuit, and the 1999 calendar as well. The other problem is this is not beginner friendly at all, since it is best to do this via Steel Path and you will need to have access to Warframe 1999. Steel Path will give you higher mod drops because you have a 100% mod drop chance booster built into Steel Path. With a full 4-man team and a Cora with her Pilfering Strangledome augment, we ran for just over 15 minutes. I managed to farm over 170 mods, which net me around 7,368 Endo just from dissolving the mods. From the mission drops, I gained 7,810. That makes a total of 15,178 Endo, which works out roughly 1,000 Endo per minute because it was just over 15, on top of all of the other rewards that you are gaining from killing the enemies and so on. Now obviously this is just one run, so it's not a guarantee. You can get less, you can get more, but the whole point of this is you're getting a bunch of different resources with some really good Endo rewards on top of it. Now how do we do this farm? First, decide if you're going to go in solo or with a group, preferably with a group. Cora would be the best bet if you're solo and with a group. Any Cora build will work here with just, let's say, decent duration and about 175% range. And of course, Pilfering Strangledome, that's a given. This is so we can maximize our loot. This is my Cora build, and Whip, you can honestly build it however you want, it doesn't matter. It's not the main focus for this video. Smeeter with Loyal Retriever, a mod booster if you do have it, and you can use a credits and resource booster if you wanted to as well. Start a Techrot survival mission, go to this spot right here from this tile set. I haven't tested other places, but I found this spot to be simply the best because enemies stream and spawn from each side. And if you place your Cora domes here and here, you can catch enemies from both sides. All you do is just keep whipping enemies like every Cora gameplay ever, and watch the rewards flood in. As a solo, depending on your raw jobs, you can average between 3 to 3.5k Endo, sometimes even more, for about 5 minutes. That's not bad at all. Now you can make this even better by running the Techrot bounty, especially if it's on rotation for the highest tier, giving you up to 4,200 Endo per bounty completion. I will say though, this does depend on the secondary objective because some of them are tedious. Like I mentioned, you can make this even better by running 4 people in the same area and running a somewhat efficient setup. For example, I ran 1 Cora, 1 Nova to speed enemies up. This is very important. If you can't have a 4-man, at least a duo with a Nova and Cora would be perfect. and 2 Necros with Desecrate for more loot. Although I will say Limbo can be used with his Rift to manipulate enemy density. I am not a Limbo expert, I have no idea how to do this. I just heard this and I googled it and apparently it is true. If you can do that, then add that into the mix. I would imagine you would gain even more Endo and mod drops. You can also have Nautas to pull enemies in, although you would get less resources because you know, losing out on retriever mods. I would guess that with a proper team and setup, you can push even more than 1k Endo per minute, which is pretty crazy for a survival mission. There are so many layers here to gaining Endo and rewards. Again, I only know of this one spot, I haven't tested others, so if you guys know more spots, let me know in the comments below. I really can't stress how nice this is to have a decent Endo farm outside of the usual farms. It is definitely not the arena level farm of Endo gain, but you do gain helmet resources, credits, and more in the process, so it's a win. And also, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that this is going to replace the arena farm or arbitrations. Both of those are still the best, but this is definitely up there as a decent Endo farm. Now that covers the Endo farm as a whole, but you can add liches on top of this because, as we know, you can spawn coded technosites, complete them throughout your farming runs or bounty runs, and simply farm antivirus mods. These antivirus mods can dissolve for 1,000 Endo each if you wanted to dissolve them, and they sell for around 3 to 5 platinum each on the Warframe market. So 1,000 Endo for 3 to 5 platinum is not bad if you wanted to buy them as well, or if you just wanted to sell them or whatever you want to do with them. Basically, you get 1,000 Endo each, which is pretty good. If you land up keeping them to run your coded liches, when they deplete, they still dissolve for 500 Endo. You see how this kind of all just stacks up slowly as you go on. You can also farm coded weapons in the process, so it's a win-win. But obviously, this is not the main focus. It's just something to do while you're farming the Endo or running bounties. This leads me on to bounties. As I mentioned in my Endo guide, Hollvania bounties are one of the best to run for Endo rewards now because tier 5 and tier 6 bounties give you 13.73 to 15.69% chance at between 3,300 to 4,200 Endo. This is kind of good for Endo jobs from bounties. Technically speaking, exterminate and capture missions are the best here, but if you get a Techros survival like I mentioned and grab a group to run with you, you can potentially get that big Endo job from the bounty at the end, and then also all the Endo you've just gathered. Definitely worth farming bounties with the rewards that they give. For example, let's take my 15-minute run with over 15k Endo in just 15 minutes. If you add the bounty reward of, let's say, 4,200 on top of that, that's almost 20,000 Endo in 15 minutes, which is not bad. And that's the Endo side of Hollvania. The next thing is the credit farm. As some of you know, Hollvania missions also have a very good credit farm, the biosafes in missions. Sadly though, I will say there is a bit of a downside to this. It was incredibly good when it first came out, but now DE has changed the tile sets and finding them is a lot harder and not so consistent. Sadly, I don't know why they did that, but it is what it is and it sucks. This unfortunately limits us to waiting for a bounty to come out that is capture or exterminate that forces us to find and open the biosafe. Although if you are running just normal capture missions on bounties and if you run into it, it's still a pretty decent option, but it's not going to be every single run. But if you do find the right bounty that forces you to open the biosafe and it's something fast, it's kind of nice because it will immediately show the safe location when you spawn in, so you don't have to spend time looking for it. To open the biosafe, you will need to find the code. When you find the safe, the code will always be within 100 meters of the safe's location. Using the Parallax Golden Eye ability to find the code will be the fastest way. Make sure you're running Chroma, since we'll be using his effigy ability to double the credit drops. When you open it normally, it will give you 100,000 credits. Chroma's effigy will double it to 200,000. If you have a credit booster, you will double that to 400,000. Equipping Prosperous Retriever will have an 80% chance to double that, giving us 800,000 credits. If you have a credit blessing, this will go to 1 million. You can do these missions in like 3 minutes or so. Now, there is RNG to this, of course, which kind of sucks. As we know, Prosperous Retriever is like 18%, but so is many other things in Warframe. The best missions to run this would be the Capture Legicide Harvest missions. That is definitely the best. If you can do this solo, that's fine. You can do this fairly fast solo, but you can also do this in a group to make it a lot faster. If you do run a group, you can split up 2 and 2. One deals with the Legicide Harvest, the other one finds the safe. I will say though, you can actually run this in normal mode instead of Steel Path, as this will speed up the Legicide, and the rewards are the exact same. Whether it's the bounty rewards, they're the same, and the biosave rewards are the exact same. So it's actually a good idea to run this in normal instead of Steel Path. Plus, the Legicide also has a chance of dropping 600 Endo when you capture it, and you can also get relics. The Chroma build can literally be anything. If you want to make it faster when running these missions, I'd recommend stacking parkour velocity via the Praedos or Archon shards. Even on your Warframe will be fine since you're running normal missions. And if you can have a Nova on your team to speed up the enemies when waiting for the Ferroglands, it will then speed up the process of charging up the Kavat. Again, I don't need to show builds here because anything really works. The only thing to remember, please just remember this, is cast effigy before you open the safe and not after. But I will say, the only big problem with this farm is we rely on the bounties for it to be consistent, which means you can do nothing until that happens. It's a pity, but it's still a good credit farm nonetheless when it is up. And if you keep an eye open for these bounties, you can make some really juicy credit rewards, and you'll gain Endo rewards from them too. So it's just a win-win. And finally, we move on to the Arcane side of Hollvania. As we know, among all of the other rewards and so on and all the other stuff that you get Arcane jobs from missions. You can get it from Eleanor as well from standing. You, of course, have ETA, which we all know by now. You can get Arcane Hotshot and more from Kaya. ETA also gives you Archon shards, plus you get Archon shards and many more goodies from the 1999 calendar every week. You get weapon sets. Gaining enough standing per day will allow you to buy the weapon sets from Minerva. The Dual Viscis goes for around 40-ish platinum per set, and the other weapons range from 30 to 40 platinum, which is not bad at all. So yeah, I may be late to the party, but I felt it was worth the video because man, this place is actually incredibly profitable for any player as long as you've unlocked it, of course. And if you're watching this and you don't have access to it, it's something that you can look forward to. I couldn't believe how good the Endo farm is, and the credit farm was also very good provided you have a good bounty for it. Otherwise, this was just a quick video that I wanted to go over all the stuff, and I hope this helped you. And now you have another Endo farm to do outside of just arbitrations and the arena Endo farm in Sedna, which is just gets boring after a while, let's be real. I just wanted to cover this to shed some light on it, so hopefully some more people can discover this. And that's all for the video. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to leave a like, and bye bye now. I'll see you guys in the next one.